First at 4, it's hard to believe we're tracking another sexual misconduct investigation involving a doctor at a local university, where things stand right now. Also disturbing new information about the death of a 79-year-old woman in Bedford, the charges and what we know about the man in custody. Ben.
Karen, finishing up a sun-soaked Wednesday, but we're headed into one of the coldest nights of the forecast. We'll look at these incredible wind chills coming up. Nick?
Constantly throwing your paper coffee cups away? Think again, a new program that would chip these and have them sanitized instead.
Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon, I'm Karen Drew. First at 4, one man is facing murder charges in the mysterious and disturbing death of a woman in Monroe County. We told you about the death of 79-year-old Cecilia Gibson earlier this week. Her body was found inside of a home in Bedford Township. That man, 45-year-old Kenny McBride, is charged with homicide and the mutilation of a dead body. Prosecutors confirm Gibson died of blunt force trauma and then was beheaded. McBridge is being held in the Monroe County Jail without bond this afternoon. He is due back in court next week. University of Michigan is investigating sexual misconduct complaints against a former campus doctor. Dr. Robert E. Anderson worked at the school from 1968 until his retirement in 2003. He died in 2008. University police started an investigation in 2018 when a former student athlete alleged abuse during medical exams back in the 70s. Well, since then, the university says dozens of people have made similar claims about sexual abuse. New at 5, we'll learn more about the doctor, the patients, and how the university is moving the investigation forward. An ex-UAW official charged in connection to an ongoing corruption probe learned his sentence today. Mike Grimes admitted to receiving more than $1.5 million in bribes and kickbacks from UAW vendors and contractors. Grimes was facing 20 years in prison, but agreed to taking a plea deal. A judge sentenced him today to 2 years and 4 months in prison. Our Rob Maloney caught up with Grimes outside of court, and you're going to hear his apology tonight at 5. Now a Local 4 update on a 10-year-old girl injured during a shooting in Inkster. Police tell us her injuries are not life-threatening. The shooting happened last night in the area of Dartmouth and Sylvia. That's near Inkster Road. Investigators say someone fired 2 shots into that house. Not clear if they were on foot or in a car. Investigators say the 10-year-old was grazed by debris or fragments during that shooting. Right now, that investigation continues. Not exactly warm outside, but boy, that sun sure can make things be a lot better for you, right? Let's check in with Ben Bailey.
What did we do to deserve this? It's been so long since we put together a string of sunny days, and really this is only our first full one. We've got more to go as we get later on into the forecast. Temperatures, though, yes, not really conducive to being outside and enjoying it too much, or at least for too long. Those wind chills down into the teens there in Ann Arbor. 19 is how it feels, but the numbers tonight getting much colder. In fact, this is going to be one of our coldest nights of the forecast. We'll be down to 20 by midnight on the thermometer. Wind chills tonight, single digits. Couple spots may go near 0, and we'll highlight all of that in your 4-zone forecast in just a few minutes. Karen?
Jurors have been deliberating the fate of Harvey Weinstein for 2 days now. The panel of 7 men and 5 women asked several questions yesterday as they started weighing the charges. The former movie producer is accused of rape and other sexual misconduct cases involving 2 women. If convicted, he could face life in prison. Weinstein has always denied any non-consensual sexual encounters. We'll keep you posted if the jury comes back. Live from Las Vegas, it is the next Democratic debate. In just a few hours, the top candidates will face off with billionaire Michael Bloomberg. This is for the first time. It's a key chance for voters to get another look at who is still in the race for the White House. Kimberly Gill in the newsroom. And Kim, we're getting to a critical point in the primary season.
We are, Karen, and good afternoon to you. The Nevada caucuses are Saturday, then the South Carolina primary, and Super Tuesday is less than 2 weeks away. This debate could influence who pulls ahead in the delegate count and which candidates might not be able to stick around. So here's a look at who will be on stage tonight. You mentioned former New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg has avoided any face-to-face contact with his rivals so far, I should say. Instead, he spent more than $381 million of his own money on commercials, introducing himself to Americans in key battleground states. Here's what's on the line for the candidates. How will Bloomberg respond to questions and possible attacks on his record and controversial statements that he's made in the past? Can Senator Bernie Sanders consolidate his role as front runner, at least according to the latest national polls? Also, Senator Amy Klobuchar and former Mayor Pete Buttigieg will be trying to widen their bases, reaching out to more diverse voters, as well as Joe Biden and Senator Elizabeth Warren. Probably they need some strong showings tonight to stop their recent slides after poor showings in both Iowa and New Hampshire. And in addition to the horse race, the debate also gives voters a chance to hear the candidates talk about the issues that matter to them. And by the way, Karen, the Michigan primary is March 10th, so that's right around the corner. So tonight is a good chance for local voters to dial into this race as well. We'll send it back to you for more news of the day.
All right, will be an interesting night ahead. Thanks, Kim. And you can watch the debate right here on Local 4. It starts at 9. If you are away from the TV, we'll also be streaming live at clickondetroit.com. Former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich is a free man today, and he is thanking President Donald Trump. The president commuted Blagojevich's sentence for political corruption yesterday. He flew home to Chicago overnight. Among his crimes, he tried to sell the U.S. Senate seat that Barack Obama left when he was elected to the White House. Today, Blagojevich thanked the president and showed no remorse for his crimes.
How do you properly thank someone who's given you back the freedom that was stolen from you? He didn't have to do this. He's a Republican president. I was a Democratic governor. And doing this does nothing to help his politics. President Trump is a man who is tough and outspoken, but he also has a kind heart.
Blagojevich now calls himself a Trumpocrat and says he would vote for the president if he could. He did not take questions from reporters. We all know Americans use billions of coffee cups each year at Starbucks and McDonald's alone. Well, now those chains are launching an experiment to reuse coffee cups. The Next Gen Cup Challenge could dramatically change our coffee drinking routines. Local 4's Nick Monticelli shows us how it works and finds out if Metro Detroiters are up to the challenge.
So here's the thing, it is second nature to finish your drink, have the garbage, and just toss it away. But instead, the thought process is to not throw this cup away and instead drop it off at a collection site, have it sanitized, and then reused.
This is a mocha, and that's a regular veranda blend.
We stood on a corner in Campus Martius for just a few minutes and instantly saw dozens of people carrying a throwaway cup. So yes, we know this is a problem, and people like Larry Alexander like the idea of reusable cups.
I know it is probably a good idea from a refuse standpoint,
but
to be reusing the same cup, that's something you do at home after you put it in the dishwasher.
And Larry is not alone.
I'm fine with a reusable cup. I'm not sure about one with a chip in it that's tracking. That sounds kind of scary.
Today, Starbucks and McDonald's launched a pilot program in California using smart cups equipped with RFID chips or QR codes for tracking. When customers are done with the cup, they'll drop them off at collection points where they'll be picked up, sent for cleaning, and then used again. On the streets, a healthy mix of opinions.
I would definitely reuse them. I go to McDonald's and Starbucks way more than I should for coffee.
It might work in certain parts of the country, but I think overall people want to have a fresh cup.
I think it's a great idea, you know. I mean, it's in a world we're trying to be environmentally friendly.
The only real question is, how clean is clean, and how do we know?
Sure, I'd be thinking about it, but you know, I got to think they'd address that.
They'd have to put up some type of protocol and definitely make sure everything goes accordingly, but I think definitely they could work something towards it.
I think it's definitely could be beneficial, you know, get rid of a lot of space taken up, and the cleanliness thing, you know, people probably gonna try to point that out, but it's no different than going to Dick's Lafayette, Coney Island, and getting someone's cup that they just washed. So
in downtown Detroit, Nick Monticelli, Local 4.
Nick also tells us the idea of those trackers on the cups is to track where cups are and see which communities are most or least willing to reuse the cups. Still ahead, first at 4, it is the wedding proposal that offers couples an opportunity to get married in hell. Michigan, that is. Plus, wait until you hear the wedding date. But first, here is Dr. McGeorge.
Hey, Karen, we're going to talk about treating appendicitis. Some people can avoid surgery, but is that really a good idea? Also, big breakfast or big dinner? Which one is better for you? I'll share some new research coming up in Good Health.
All right, Doc, up first, fighting back. A 77-year-old man stands up for himself when he's accosted at an ATM. The rest of this video shows who won the battle. Next.